Hi, Mark Freeman coming to you live from the Heart of Delray Gallery, where we have Art Walk tonight. If you're not here, you should be. Tonight, I have a co-host, Gene Bilbo, a fellow artist here. Gene, say hello.
Hello.
And with us we have the man, the myth, the legend, the brains behind and the visionary behind this gallery. I know that all the artists here feel greatly indebted to you. We have new stuff coming up, and I know that we have almost an event every day, every week this month.
Yes, sir.
You have something, let me first introduce, I'm sorry, Dan Cianciotto. Great, good, out of the way. Man, I always call you Dan, so I know your name. Dan is here to tell us about a new event, but also to speak about the gallery in general. Dan?
So tonight we have our first Friday art walk here in Delray Beach at the Heart of Delray Gallery from 6 to 9 p.m. Come on down, have a glass of wine, Prosecco, and mingle a little bit with all the artists. We have a lot of events going on this month. October 11th next week, we have a breast cancer event on Thursday. And then the following week, we have a wine tasting event. Who's that? Carrie's hosting that.
Grapes in the Garden.
Grapes in the Garden. Thank you, Gene.
Yep, thank you.
And also, we have something really super exciting going on here. I have launched a reality TV show called America's Fine Artist. It's basically the same business model as America's Got Talent, and the artists will come in, they'll show work. I have 4 judges. It's going to be super exciting. The winner is going to be represented by the gallery countrywide, and they'll have a feature wall, so it's going to be a real fun event.
It's going to be excellent, really is. But that's the kind of idea that you bring to this wonderful gallery that has so many, I mean, 75 artists, 11,000 square feet of space, has so much to offer. It's ridiculous, and Dan keeps coming up with new ideas. We're greatly blessed and indebted to have you here. I mean, you know, that's
appreciate that.
Absolutely, very much. Mm-hmm. Dan, you are also an artist, so you don't claim to be, I know, but not only are you the curator here and out there, I know all the time trying to look for new pieces that will impress, and but you also, I know you had an antique business at one time, so you'll see some antiques throughout the gallery as well. Typewriters that have been Jackson Pollock, for lack of a better term, but you also have some canvases as well. So you know, Dan's unusual in that he's a businessman but an artist. So I think it gives you.
I try.
Well, you are, no doubt about it. Anything else you got going for us?
That's what's going on in October. Right. Stay tuned. Look at our website. And it's October 27th and 28th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's when we're filming. It's an open audition, so anyone can come, all ages, everyone. It's going to be exciting.
So there'll be a line outside. Now, I knew you had pre-auditions.
Line up Federal Highway of 1,000 people, signs and everything. So it's going to be a great event.
It really will be.
Come on down.
It's a great opportunity. This gallery is a great opportunity for new artists to expose themselves to the masses. But not only that, you know, this gives somebody a chance to be hitting somebody nationally. What a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
So then the way to register to audition one of those days is to go on the website.
Yeah, best way is to go onto the website. This way you get early registration. But like I said, it is an open casting call, so you can just show up.
And it's on to Heart of Delray Galleries?
theheartofdelraygallery.com. You could also log on to afaauditions.com.
And is it limited to a certain kind of art?
It is limited right now. This first season, season 1, is going to be basically acrylic or oil on canvas. That's what we're doing right now. Season 2, sculptures. Hopefully everything goes.
Sculptures adding in, not just sculptures.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, no, it's fun. Just be clear. That sounds fantastic. We're excited to see how this plays out. And
look, there's one of my judges now.
All right. Katrina's coming on as a co-host here in a little bit. But Dan, I mean, just what you mean. I know I was looking for a studio a year and a half ago before this gallery opened, and you saw some value in my work, which I mean, I've been an artist for 35 years, but I hadn't painted for a living, and so it was great to have some of your tutelage, some of your concepting, but just the vision to start this gallery and how it's helped so many local artists. Really, I mean, I don't know how else I would get my work out there. And this gallery is it's breathtaking. It truly is.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
What else you got for us?
That's all I got.
All right.
Okay.
Well, stay tuned.
He's busy out there.
I got to mingle.
Yeah,
He's got to mingle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there'll be more stuff coming up in November. Stay tuned.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So glad to have you.
Michelle's, yeah.
Yeah, where's Michelle coming
Michelle's, well, I just texted her. It takes a minute.
She's supposed to be making sales.
But that's another aspect of the gallery. Michelle Cancro is the new director of sales here. But what that means is that she is, yay, an artist herself.
Here she is, my right hand. Drum roll.
Yep, there you go.
Pass it over to
Very good.
Michelle.
All right. Yay. So coming to the microphone now is Michelle Cancro. Michelle Eustace Cancro. And
Any way you want to say it.
well, I figured you'd be in trouble, right? If you're getting all three. See, when I was called Marion Grant, I knew I was in trouble when they actually used my real full name.
No, my mother never could remember who I was. She
Nah,
always told
there
me
you go.
somebody else first, so it didn't really matter.
Bottom. That's the bottom. Yep. There you go.
So Mark is typically the one who is interviewing us. So we decided to turn the tables on him tonight. So we're going to interview him.
I welcome the challenge.
So Jeannie, did you pull up the questions?
No, I didn't. So
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to. I know people always
Free
ask,
flow?
what inspires your work, but I see your work changing a little bit. So what I'm going to ask you is, what is changing about your work? The more you paint, what do you see changing?
I've always been somebody I was a rebel. I am a rebel. I've always been somebody who liked to experiment. And so, honestly, like I'm doing right now, I think I said some cartoony kind of pieces just to scratch my personal itch. This past month I did, and pardon my lisping, I had some oral surgery, so I sound like Cindy Brady.
It's all good.
This past month I did a water series, of which this is a representative piece. The month before I did this whole moon series. So I mean, I do get this notion to do series of works, but honestly, it's whatever catches my fancy at the time. If I fall asleep with the Science Channel on, I'm liable to do a quasar. So I mean, it's. I like the idea of capturing something that I hadn't thought. There we go. To capture before. Matter of fact, for instance, when the eclipse happened a year ago now, someone said paint an eclipse, and I thought, well, how the heck do you do that? There's going to be darkness. I mean, it's a black canvas. But actually, watching the footage of it, I got some good vision and glimpses, and I did one just because it was a
I
challenge.
wanted to
And
figure out what you were doing.
exactly, yeah.
What got you started on doing the resin look with the bubbles? Because that's a totally different. A lot of people do resin,
Yeah.
but they don't do it quite the way you do it. You do some things where you have the whole bubble thing going on, and then you do some things where you use resin on part of it and not on the other. What was that started?
Well, first off, when I first tried resin, I was cautioned about how terrible it was, and I had a little bit of anxiety going into it. So I didn't pour, and there was probably some air bubbles in it, and I thought, shoot, I wonder how it's an oil base, and so I wondered how water-based acrylic ink might filter into it. And so I really kind of started playing. I started off painting the beautiful beach here, and from that I painted the sunrises, and I got an underwater camera. And so, shots of air bubbles rising in the water, or shots that were half submerged. So you had the ocean and then the sky above it. I just found it challenging and was kind of, and it's funny, my earlier pieces, all the bubbles are very spherical. In fact, if you look at underwater diving shots, there you won't find many spherical. But I think they do make a nice little a tool that I can cast reflections off of. So one piece that recently sold. It had a single fish, but it had 64 different variations of it in the bubbles that were rising.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's
the mirrored image of it. Yeah.
right. In terms of how I use the resin, I've seen a lot of people use it to coat the entire piece. I'm not such a fan of that. I guess encase it in plastic, it's fine for any number of reasons. But for me, I just looked at it as another medium. And I like the idea of having exposed canvas with some very toothy, unctuous pigment in there. And then other places where I had painted and had great depths, it was neat to go from a transition of canvas and pigment to suddenly this smooth surface that was somewhat mirrorized. And to see some of my paintings, there'll be a quarter of an inch between the top surface and where the paint actually is on the canvas.
Right.
So, I like that layering effect. One of the pieces I did was a piece that was, I call it a Vincent kind of night. It was definitely an homage to Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. I started painting it, and then resined it, and painted in resin, and painted in resin. There's about 7 layers, and some of the strokes on the surface are literally a quarter of an inch above the ones in back. And when you have it in the right light, you get shadow cast off the different strokes. It's just a real interesting piece. I have fun. That's what I do.
You play with the technique. You toy with it until you find what works for you.
I do. Yep, exactly right.
I like that about you because you're not stuck on any one thing. You're not afraid to experiment. You kind of just roll with it and see what happens.
I've had actually criticism from some gallery people, not here, who had said you need to do an item and stick with it so you become known as this kind of painter. That frankly would be boring and almost assembly line kind of work. I'm pretty.
An artist is supposed to be creative, so
I agree.
It's good to expand your horizon and kind of see where you can go with it.
Yeah.
So I like that.
My wife Leslie laughs at me because if she wakes up in the middle of the night and I'm not there, she knows I'm downstairs painting, and I get a wild hair at 2 a.m. and I don't come down here. Partially because I don't want to get dressed. I'm painting in my boxers.
Yeah, I know.
I know, bad vision. Sorry.
I hear you. That's a problem, having to get dressed to come here.
But it's something that enthralls me. It really invigorates me. That's one of the things this gallery does as well. The different stylisms. Gene is very responsible for me having paid much more attention to the edge finishing of pieces. Gene's very meticulous in that kind of detailing. And it really, while at one time I thought, well, somebody's going to frame it. Some people like the raw sides. I've seen, to me, I used to say, we never do something, good enough. They're good enough is the enemy of best. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I realized that the same kind of advice I would have given to people in the advertising business, it had the same kind of accord. If you're going to do something, do it unexpectedly well. No matter what the subject matter or anything else, and I think you do it.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
That's it?
That's
Well,
it for you. Well,
wow.
how much more time did you need?
Oh, no. Are you kidding? I can talk a mile a minute.
I was going to say, he could talk for 3 days.
Yes.
I could.
Well, you know what? We're going to let you talk to everybody else
All right.
tonight because we
I
have
look
a good
forward
lineup for you tonight.
Yeah, we do. We have 10 artists
Yes,
coming
we
out.
do.
But we wanted to give you a chance to talk about your art for
I
a
greatly
change
appreciate that.
because you always talk about everybody else's art.
Well, I honestly, I'm very proud of this gallery and the artists here. And I've had people say, why are you focused? You haven't even shown me your stuff yet. Gene's success is my success. Your success, So I very much have a
Our
holistic.
success is all of our success.
Your success is really all of
Yeah,
our
that's
success.
true. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that Michelle brings to this is, I know your home show. She brings some great service aspects to a gallery in that she'll have a client come in who is redoing a house, and Michelle will bring down 10 pieces down to your place to see them
25
inside.
pieces down to your place. Whatever you need me to bring down, I'll bring down. Whatever
Yeah.
works to get you what you need and to make you happy with what you're going to purchase. That's our goal.
Absolutely, and I think you do a great job. I know in my space I have 10 works on one wall. Obviously, that's not how you're going to display them, and so it's nice to have the opportunity to pull a piece out, put it on the wall it's meant to be on, and let someone evaluate it in their space. So I think that's great.
How it looks there and how it looks here are two totally different things. So it's really good for us to offer that service and to be able to make sure that people really are happy because that's what's going to bring them back in. And because we do have so many different artists with so many different styles, it gives everybody a chance to play with some things and see what works where and really be happy with what they have. So come down and see us at the Heart of Delray Gallery. And I'm going to step out now
Okay.
because I got to go talk to all of our
No,
friends here for
go
our
sell.
We're going to switch out here. Gene and I are going to leave. We're going to send Katrina and
So thank you.
Ariel.
Take my
Yeah.
piece down and go.
Yes, I will.
Thank
And
you.
you're going to introduce
All right.
your beautiful
I will.
co-host for the rest of the show.
Absolutely. I'll let Katrina slide in here. So, yep. Mademoiselle, Katrina is 3 doors down from me, and when I met her, she was so passive and quiet. Come on, girl, get in here.
When was that?
I'm kidding.
So
I'm kidding. No, she's always been well, it's like me. I've never met a stranger. I mean, you know, I'm a little,
So we're gonna send Ariel in to talk to you and Katrina.
very good, awesome.
Oh, I'm,
You make it.
excuse me.
You've been eating a lot.
Bye.
Katrina's been eating a lot. Yeah. Katrina Chevitar, welcome. This is my co-host for the rest of the evening, and good to see you, Ariel. How are you today?
Hi,
Ariel
Ariel.
is an artist. And you've been here from the beginning
told you
too, haven't you? You've been here from the opening of the gallery.
Yes.
I thought you had been. There's probably 5 or 6 of us that have been here from the very onset. Ariel, tell us about your work. And
My partner is the interior designer.
Mhm.
He have so much extra time. You don't want to waste it.
Yeah,
I'm very creative.
yeah,
That what start my.
yeah. Talking to the microphone. Yeah, sorry.
That what start my creative. I start to do all this work.
Well, if you've been down to the gallery at all, you'll notice figurines. I mean, there's a Buddha that was out there and a dog, and I mean, there are some wonderful sculptures here that are
Oh,
tiled.
yeah. You know, I actually didn't know that that's him.
Yeah.
He just gave me a business card,
Oh, yeah.
and I saw the picture.
Very
and
good.
With
Yep.
sculpture, with a mosaic.
Yep.
And I said, oh, that's you.
Yep.
Okay.
Isn't that
Great.
funny? I mean, I know I mentioned
great
pretty
to
early,
meet
but
artists.
they're
I
having
love
artists
meeting
down here that I
artists.
have not met in a year, and
Yeah.
finally meet them and just be blown away. So,
Exactly. It's a lot of artists.
Yeah,
here.
there is.
I love this gallery. The atmosphere here is so inviting. If you say,
yeah,
it's so much good art.
I agree.
Mix of
Um,
everything. It does make this
everything
the best.
mixed.
Oh, it makes us the best, right?
Of
Yay.
course. I know that you know. I think that is one of the strong points here. Is not only is it inviting for the gallery viewer, but it's inviting for the artist. I mean, we have no, you know, sharing a technique is of no consequence. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't.
yeah.
That's not. Nobody's a robber baron of their technique.
I'm very excited for the new stuff coming up.
Yep.
It's like
It's
it's gonna be good.
it is. It's going to be national, and it's going to have that kind of impact.
Your new stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, no, but I'm not gonna do that
You can't. I
because
think.
it's only for new people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And might take very long time because might have to be fluid and grouted.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
just-
How long it takes you to create a piece like
But
this?
the last piece I did, I started in January.
January.
I just finished. It's in the garden.
Yeah, very
It's
good.
the garden fairy.
Very good.
Okay.
Cool. So 7 months or more.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I have my work.
Yeah.
I'm
Sure.
creator. I'm a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Hairdresser.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're a creative of all fashions.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
yep.
That was the fashion you can see in my work.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, sure.
Because I'm in that business, beauty business.
Yeah.
Everything beauty. I love it. Beauty.
Yeah. I'm with
Yes.
you. If you walk through the outside space here, you particularly get a good view of your work. I think it really adds to the ambiance. You know. I know the conversation piece is yours also, right?
Yeah.
And two women on top of the bar that are
Yeah.
talking in
That's a great one, yeah.
in confidence.
We
It's
call
nice.
it in Spanish chismosas.
Chismosas?
Gossip.
There you go. Got it. Okay, that works. We're so glad you're here and so glad you came down. Thank you for coming on. And anything new in your world that's coming up? You have new pieces and new ideas? Or
Yes, I have a new one.
Right.
Yes, I bring it.
go ahead. Very cool.
Yeah, after that, it's gonna come another one.
Do you have besides coming down to the Heart of Delray Gallery? Do you have a website or something that we can refer people
Yes.
Oh, yeah, here you go.
to? Very good. Okay. Whoops.
Maniac.
All right.
Maniac.
Yeah, Maniac Tile. Okay, there we go. So www.maniactile, MANIAC tile.com. Very good. That's appropriately named. I
That's
like
mine,
that.
that's mine.
That's yours, of course.
I'll give you one.
Yeah, all right. We're so glad you came down. You're silly. Katrina's pretty passive and she's an introvert. So glad to have you down here, Ariel. Anything else you want to tell us?
Nice to meet you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you I'm very happy here
Yeah.
because I like everybody here.
Yeah, we got some pretty good
very,
folks.
We like
very
it too.
people is very invited.
Yeah, I agree.
It's no walls.
No, you're right.
It's you cannot be open.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that people talk about the energy and the electricity in this
Oh
place.
my God, it's unbelievable.
It's tangible. I mean, it really
Look,
is.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, I'd say every time I walk in the every time I walk in the gallery, I get goosebumps. I think
I
it's
got
cool.
goosebumps.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I know. Because every time, another thing I love here, every time you come is you don't see the same.
No, it definitely has some. Yeah, it flows.
Oh yeah, moving around the paintings,
Yeah.
everything
It's
is
like
definitely.
change around.
Yep,
I love that.
I do too. And yeah, there's nothing staid about this.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah, some galleries you come into and the same thing that was there 3 months ago is still there. Not so here. Yeah, you'd be really. It'd be surprising if a piece is in the same place for a month. You know. Well, so glad you came down and so glad you came
thank
on.
you.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing your new works.
Thank you. I don't
All
know.
right.
You was in charge of this.
Gabriel.
I'm mouthy.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
Nice to meet you, Katrina.
Nice to meet you
That's
too. Yes.
one of my favorite
Yes.
friends.
Mark.
You're gonna give me your contacts for the hair.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You know,
cool. Gotcha.
you're gonna get my hair done.
Are you
I think your
tonight?
hair looks good.
Well,
yeah?
thank you. I actually use some of Leslie's hairspray. We have coming on board with us.
Okay.
We have coming on board with us
Next.
Katrina Mark Dane.
Mark Dane, okay.
Mark is very well. Good to see you.
Hello.
Katrina, Mark Dane. Mark Dane.
Nice to meet you.
Scoot up that
You
mic.
have one of those?
Yep.
What?
You have
one
one
of
of
your own
those?
cards. Yes.
No,
Business
I don't.
card? No? Yeah, I collect them.
There you go. Well, Mark's work, I volunteer as a docent down here on Tuesdays and Fridays because it's a 11,000 square feet is a daunting space. And as I walk through, I oftentimes will describe your work as painting with light. Is that an accurate?
Yes, there are light paintings
Okay.
and light sculptures.
Yeah. And I think you're one of the most unique artists here. You literally in the circle gallery is what we call this back room. Mark's work dominates one half of the space. Tell us about it, man. Tell us what was your inspiration.
You're gonna have to take me around and show your artwork because I don't know.
Really? Yeah.
I didn't see it yet. No, I didn't.
Oh,
see
you
it.
have to.
This is my first time seeing him.
No,
Maybe,
well, maybe
yes.
maybe so, but you know his art. I guarantee you. The
Yes.
pieces that are all electric and have the light, the rainbow.
Is that where the red couch used
Yes,
to be?
it is.
Oh,
Well,
oh, that's
it
that.
used to
Okay,
be
now
there.
I understand.
Yeah, it used to be there, but it was moved. So anyway, I started about 4 years ago. Retired. I was looking for something to do, and
Sure.
I was kind of an amateur photographer, and I was experimenting with this special glass.
Okay.
And this glass is actually, it's what they call dichro glass. It's used in cinematography, photography, stage lighting, as well as jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
And what's special about it is that it's coated with these metal oxides that you
Mhm.
can actually barely see.
Right. No, actually, they look absolutely
They
clear
look-
almost.
Yeah, they all look, they look clear. And what
Mhm.
happens is when light strikes the glass, this glass will transmit a color and will reflect back the opposite spectrum of colors.
Interesting.
So depending on the size of the glass, depending on the distance from the light, the shape and the angle, you'll get the various different effects that you see. So it's functional art in that it looks like a painting to most people,
Absolutely.
but it delivers light. So at night it'll light up a room in very kind of moody light.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
At night, I'm like a night light. Yes.
Right, right. It's it'll actually light up a room, kind of almost with
Absolutely
indirect
will.
lighting.
Yeah.
I like
You get very much a prism effect off of it now, and I often
Yeah.
hope you don't mind, but I will often turn off your pieces to
Right.
say, look, they're basically black and white, and it's the
Right.
it's the anodization of the various pieces of glass
Right.
and how they play off each other that really
Right.
creates the
Right.
palette.
Right.
Absolutely gorgeous works, really
Right.
are.
And there's actually no limit to the size of the artwork. I've done complete walls with it.
Very cool.
There's subject matter. Most of the work that I do is all commissioned.
What kind of light do you use? LED light or?
The light itself is just a plain LED warm light. Temperature is around 2800, 3000. And so it'll last pretty much forever, but it can be replaced. The glass itself is also kind of a lifetime. It doesn't deteriorate.
Okay.
So most of my clients, they have a kind of a theme in mind. And what I do is I design it first on a computer.
Right.
I show them simulated what it kind of would look like Usually, depending on where they want to place it, I'll design it so that it'll emit a certain amount of light also.
Right.
And I've had literally all sorts of odd requests.
I'll bet.
How long you been doing photography before?
I've been doing photography since I was a kid.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're
long
very
time.
good with camera and technology,
Yeah,
the computer since,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you took it to another level, which
Yeah.
creating a light and.
Right, right.
I've noticed some of your pieces, they're sculptural as well. Some of them, I know that you have one couple that's intermingled, and I think you've got a golfer, and so I mean you have
Yeah.
various subject matters that are they're captured in your works,
Right.
and very impressively so, really are.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you did a recent conglomeration with Jay Harmon.
Yes.
Did a gorgeous car that is beautifully lit and hanging in your space.
Right.
It's truly, it's hard to even describe accurately because his work is so unique.
I know.
You need to come down and see it.
I do advertise, and one of the issues is, like in Florida Design.
Right.
Issues, you said issues?
I'm sorry?
You said issues?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Florida Design, I'll advertise, and what happens is when you look at the ad, most people think it's a painting.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a double-edged sword in that, they think it's a painting. When they get to understand that it's really light
Right.
that creates it, it's quite unique.
Yeah.
I've had lots of weird requests.
Well, very cool.
Lights, yeah.
You're a great addition to
That's
this
good,
to this gallery, and,
Thank you.
we're so thrilled. Do you have a website you want
I do, yeah. The website is mkdane,
to? Okay.
mkdane.com.
Very good.
MKDane.com.
It's truly worth checking out. You'll, and I guarantee you, whatever you have on there is not going to do it justice. You really need to see the pieces in person. So come down to the Heart of Delray Gallery, like tonight, Art Fest, Art Walk rather. You need to have been down here. If you're not, plan on coming next month and come meet Mark. Most of the artists
All
are
right.
here, so
Yeah.
great to have you on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice
Take
to
care of
meet
yourself.
you.
Good to see you.
Yes, I am coming. Yes,
Very good.
Yeah, I'll speak.
I'm coming. Yes.
I know next we have Elliot.
Want to get known.
Yep. Well, it's funny because there was a guy
I
who
want
was
to know
here.
everything.
Well,
I'm like a curious George.
you are curious.
I'm maybe like SpongeBob. You
Yep.
know, suck
Can you
of
help him
everything.
set that up on the
Yes,
on the-
please, of course.
Elliot Block is also one of the. Well, I think you were here from the very beginning as well, weren't you?
Yes.
Elliot is an exquisite photographer, and I'll let him talk about his work. Come up close to the mic there, and
Can I see that on the
yeah,
camera? Here you go.
yep, yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's see that.
So welcome, Elliot. I know that you've had everything from beautiful car ornaments to birds, and you really your
bird
subject
right there,
matter
there's a
is
bird right there.
is quite distinct. Well, like for instance, in this piece, I'm curious. Have you done something in terms of the processing that's given it more of a purple hue in the?
No, just getting up early to see the sunrise in Boca.
Right.
Uh,
So this is not digitally enhanced.
Not really.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, it's not a Photoshop piece.
Not,
Yeah.
not a Photoshop.
Very cool.
piece.
Natural.
It's called
No editing.
Sunrise Fishes because there's a fishing boat out here.
Yep.
And
I love the birds
And
right
you was
above.
an
I mean, that's-
other
happened to
boat.
be some
That's
birds
yeah,
fishing
perfect.
also. And,
Absolutely.
Perfect shot.
There were many shots without the birds, and just happened you wait long enough, you get both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Some people don't have patience. When you have real patience, that's what happens. You take, amazing shots and just a couple of more minutes. Just give it more minutes, right? And
I've
you
actually got a
gotta get
minor
the
in
perfect
photography,
shot, yes.
and I started off with the K1000 and Tri-X film, and the old rule of thumb was if you got one good shot out of 36, you did something great. So I mean, it's
Yeah, I started as a kid with the Kodak
yep.
cameras and got into digital cameras in the late '60s, and I wish there had been digital cameras at that time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, I
Because-
think that was much more fun, right?
Well,
Yeah, but costly.
you carried rolls of 36.
Yep.
And you didn't do all the modifications of having, different light settings,
Right.
different time settings.
Yeah, it required truly an artist's eye to capture.
Exactly, and now
Well, I think you still capture that though. I mean, obviously, you're an old
Yeah.
school thinker.
I
I
like
look
that
at-
contrast.
I look
The
at the
contrast,
site,
like dark
but
blue and bright
can take,
yellow. I like that.
5 shots within a second,
Yeah.
at different lighting conditions
Right.
set in the camera. So you can just do thousands of pictures and then go through them and select
Yep.
what your artist's eye sees.
Sure. I know one thing. I was first when I first came down here. You had a few pieces that were lenticular.
Yes.
That means, I mean, it's 3D is what you call it, right?
Right. It's I've started doing that. It's a new thing for me. Lenticular is a technology that goes back into the 1600s.
Really, I didn't know that.
And,
Oh wow.
It's
It's like the 3D baseball card type of that. That's where I was first exposed to them, you know.
But,
Yes.
obviously, I don't print those myself. It's
Right.
very esoteric and expensive equipment to print it. But I'll pick the pictures that go into it, and you can see 2 or 3 different pictures as you walk sideways in front of
Yep.
the piece.
Now, I think you've done some wonderful work with it. Now, obviously, it takes a creative to, like you said, to see the images and how they merge into another one, and you know. So.
Yes.
One of my popular ones is American flag
Yep.
with a majestic
Eagle in there.
eagle in front of
Yep,
it.
absolutely.
So as you walk across, you see first the flag. And
Are
then
they
you see
here in the gallery?
Not at the moment.
Yeah.
Not at the
but
moment.
I have had them here at the gallery.
Well, Elliot, we're glad you're down here. Elliot Block, what your website?
Yeah, it's blockfineart.com.
Blockfineart.com. And truly, you have to you have to get down and see the work here.
Blockfineart.com.
Yep, BLOCKFINEART.com.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right.
Well, Elliot, we're so glad you came down and joined us.
Thank you.
Have great success at the
Nice to meet
at the
you.
art walk here.
Let me help you.
Coming on board next, I know we have Dave going. Very good.
Pretty close.
Okay. Gowan.
Got it.
Oh, well, that's it wasn't that close then. I actually have a bottle here. Thank you, though.
Oh, you
Yep,
have it?
yep,
Okay.
yep. You need a bottle?
Oh, I have it too.
All right, good. Welcome. You're one of the people that, for instance, has been here for a long time. And honestly, I've walked by and seen your work. I don't think I've ever met you, Mark Freeman.
Mark?
Pleasure to meet you, Dave. Yeah, pleasure to see you.
Katrina
Katrina
Chivitar?
Chivitar.
You getting better and better.
Yeah, I am. Well,
I'm new to the area.
well, but haven't you been here for at least a year or so?
No.
Really?
Just months.
Really? Okay. Well, I guess
Yeah, I live in Sarasota.
Uh-huh.
My studio's in Sarasota,
Okay.
and I work out
closer.
Oh, okay. You can't hear me?
Yep. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
closer to
You gotta eat your mic.
Okay, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
Live in the studio's in Sarasota.
Very good.
I have a 1,000 square foot studio there, and that's where I do all my work.
That sounds like a dream. I mean, 1,000 square feet
No,
is.
I've never been to Sarasota.
It is, yes, it is. But we keep it full.
Yep.
Isn't that where a sand is very white, like powder?
Destin's more like that, I
Isn't
think.
that the beach? No, Sarasota, no?
I know Destin
Like
is known for its
Uh-huh.
sugar beach, sugar sand or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah. Well, tell us about your work. I mean, obviously you're a sculptor.
Now,
Yes.
this is one of them.
Yeah.
This is a fun piece of fun sculpture.
Yeah.
It's
The
scrap-
robot.
Well, like all of your pieces have a certain like whimsical.
Let's-
I mean,
okay, can
to
you
me
see
they
it?
do.
You can see it,
Am I
okay.
correct?
They're just ideas that are,
Yeah.
that are put down in sculpt.
I think they're marvelous.
Why is green?
And this
Does
is,
it represent some color for you, this green color? Is it mean something to you, the color of green?
not at the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it did at the time, but it's green and we like it that way. A lot of people do like it.
Yes.
You do use a lot of vibrant primary colors.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that probably makes them stand out a little more, doesn't
Right.
it? Yeah.
My biggest piece here is out in the main entrance, the
The red.
Lady in red, right?
Red,
9-foot
yes.
lady
Yep.
with the mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
That's the piece. And
Yeah.
that's,
Well, you know, the green color is for money.
Well, that's right.
It's
There
a
you
money
go.
color.
There you go. What kind of materials are you working with?
This is all aluminum. I work
Aluminum.
exclusively in aluminum now.
No, I mean I don't know my metallurgy well enough. Aluminum can be welded to another piece.
Yes,
Is that,
yes.
So that's what
Is it
you're doing.
moving
Yeah.
different ways or just it is what it is?
It's static,
It's
right?
welded. This is all welded
Okay.
pieces weld together.
Interesting question. Have you done pieces that have movement?
I don't think so.
Good question, huh?
No.
Maybe it's not next project. Yeah, that could be next project. New idea, right?
Now I know that the lady in red that you got back there with the face, she's bigger than life size.
Yes.
So I mean, you do things not only for some tabletop, little for a pedestal or something like that, but you do some pieces that are truly room pieces.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where,
something
where
that
do you
really-
get those pieces from? Where they are? It looks like they're parts of
These
something.
pieces,
Yes.
These come from a scrapyard.
Scrapyard.
Uh,
Where you get the scraper? Because I'm gonna go there tomorrow.
you're not able to do that anymore.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll bet.
Unless you're buying
Yeah, a ton.
tons of
Yeah.
tons of the. They
That's
don't
right,
let
yeah.
you come out and look through the piles of what they have and pick. I have
It has a.
50-gallon drums full of these kind of pieces.
Very cool. So you've been collecting for quite a while.
I have.
Yeah,
Yes.
very good.
What is the name of this piece?
Ooh. Which?
Wait a second.
Baseball
Who is
player?
she?
She's my
That's his better half, I guarantee you.
uh,
So you
baseball
made the
player.
piece and she named the piece.
Yeah,
So you
This
guys
is a
work
baseball,
together.
I got you.
And he's tossing it.
Yeah, I can see it now. Just say that. I mean, you see it in the pitching motion or in the throwing motion. Very nice. I think they're wonderful pieces. I really do. They've got a lot of style to them, and they will definitely light up a room or a house. So,
do.
yep. So glad to have had you here, and pleasure to have met you. I look forward to seeing more work
Nice to
from you.
meet you too. Nice to meet you.
Have a great success
How heavy
here.
it is? Is it very heavy? Let me hold it.
It's aluminum. It's not, is it? Yeah.
Oh, it's not that. It's not heavy.
Huh? It's what? Affordable, yes. I don't doubt that either. I
And
really
affordable,
don't.
yes.
I think most people's pieces
Very
down here are
important.
very affordable. I think people have a reasonable idea, about an approachable price. I mean, I
Exactly.
don't want to have a piece of my wall that says 10,000 and sits there on my wall.
You know,
I'd
many
much rather
people,
it be in
many
someone
people
else's
have
life,
misconception about the galleries. Misconception about the galleries.
Take care. Good to see you, Dan.
You know what I mean?
Yep, I do. Well,
They
I
go
mean,
to Home Depot, the Home Goods, or some other department stores to buy art,
Yeah.
where they can come to the gallery and purchase original that nobody have
absolutely.
for a little bit, couple of more bucks.
Yep. No, I agree. Pamela Ross. Pamela
Okay,
Bouillet
let me help you.
Ross. All right, very good. Hey, how are you? Very well. Parlez-vous français? Yeah. I assume the Bouillet is a maiden name.
My grandmother, yes.
Very good.
My grandmother was Bouillet.
Well, I'm similar. My artist name is Marion, my legal name, but people who know me call me Mark. So,
I'm Katrina,
yeah.
Katrina
Katrina
Chepetay.
Chepetay.
And you are?
Trina, I'm Pamela.
Pamela.
She took over your old
Pamela,
space.
she
Yep.
took my, I'm jealous now.
Yep.
So I'm so excited to be in the gallery. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
We're so glad you're here, Pamela.
Yeah.
I know
Moved
that.
in.
I helped you move in, matter of fact,
Welcome,
and I
yes.
saw some really cool pieces. I mean, really, it's. I tend to
Yes,
like
I
most
love it
people's
too,
work
yes.
in general. I like the process, but your work really does touch me. I actually saw this piece and I thought of the River Styx.
You knew the title before I told you.
Well, and then I asked what it was titled. She said,
Just-
"No way."
Just astounded. This is Obadiah.
Oh, buddy.
Excuse me.
Be close
Yeah.
to the
Obadiah
microphone, yes.
Incredible.
crossing the river Styx.
Gotcha.
And that's the title.
Oh
of it.
yeah, you know
So-
the light's shining. I can see it, but now I see it's a little boat
Yep.
with a little man.
Yeah.
Well, this is my latest work, and I am kind of a polymorphic artist, which means I've been painting for many, many years, many styles, from classical to impressionist to expressionist, and been a student of painting and art all my life.
Sure.
Pamela.
So
It shows. It shows in your work.
So I don't stay in one coloring box, and my styles
You like to experiment.
move
Yes.
between the styles that I've worked in. So I work in oil. I work in now. This is a new medium, so I'm
It's
very
acrylic, correct?
well. It's acrylic, and I kind of mix my own media as far as
I do too. I understand.
the
I see
delivery
your
for the
bronze.
acrylic.
Yeah.
So I'm mixing it with metallics,
Metallics, yeah.
Perfetto paints, wax, and to try and develop it to deliver like an oil painting.
Sure.
oil painting.
It's got great tooth to it, and that's one thing I think you can see. I guess that's the impact of the wax and, well, just the various pigments building up. I mean, I think it's very interesting piece. I know your studio now, you've got a good representation of the breadth of your work. Even some pieces that are digitally produced that were, I guess, vector art, for lack of a better term. I mean, for instance, the table that you have in there is one you made.
Yeah, I'm also a digital artist and a graphic artist. I've made a living all my life as an artist doing something. And several years ago, everything was converting to computers and
Yep.
technology, and I converted also, and I was hired by the state of Florida to do a commission on Florida wildlife, the birds,
Very cool.
up in Wakulla Springs, which is north
Painting or
of here.
photography?
Paintings.
Paintings.
They wanted paintings for the old lodge there. It was a very low budget and not a lot of time. It came to me through an interior designer, and that's where I took my watercolor technique, my knowledge of that, took it into Photoshop and produced that body of work. And what was amazing, because watercolors are unforgiving, it goes
Sure.
down, it's down.
Yep.
But working digitally, I can work in layers above and layers below, and Command Z, of course, if you don't like it.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful piece.
Yeah.
But my passion is really painting originals. And
I know your husband is also a photographer, correct? Or a sculptor? What?
he's a photographer,
Okay.
videographer.
Yeah. I don't mean, I just happened to meet you both, and it's nice to have a creative as a
We're a
support and
creative
as a,
family.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
that's the best, yeah.
Mine is as well. My wife's a writer, so we have a creative vein in our family as well. So
Yeah. No, it's been a great 35 some years trekking around the world with him and
very good.
in our experience. So.
Well, I know we're delighted to have you down here, and great to have you amongst the other artists here at the Heart of Delray Gallery. Anything you have a website?
I do.
Matt,
I do.
What is that?
That is PBR, Pamela Bullier Ross.
Not Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay, PBR.
No, it's not Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Okay. Sorry.
Although my grandmother used to work.
I had
Blue
to. I'm a goofball, so pardon me. Okay, so
It's
PBR.
PBR-art.com.
Very good. PBR-art.com.
And you'll find me there.
Wonderful. Well, so glad you're here, and I think you're going to find yourself enthralled. I mean,
I'm so excited to be in this gallery. It's such a over-the-top, wonderful place. I can't say enough great things. I just moved in last week, and definitely I would invite, along with all the other artists and the great people here, come to this gallery. You won't believe it.
I agree.
Absolutely,
I
yes.
agree.
I hope
think
you enjoy
everybody who
number
leaves here is
7
like, I had no
studio."
idea.
It's a
So-
great
so great
spot,
to have you
yeah,
here, Pamela.
great spot.
Look forward to seeing more of you and more of your work.
Well, we're right next door, Mark.
That's right. Is Brian on next? All right, excellent. You know Brian?
No, I don't know Brian.
What do you do when you come here?
What are you talking
kidding.
about? I'm here
I know.
more time than anybody here.
He's the
It's my
fine art
hangout
photographer.
space. Yes.
Okay.
Welcome now,
Birch trees? No, this
Brian.
I'll explain what it
Yep.
is. Yeah.
Brian Cattell.
I've been gone all summer.
You have been gone, sir. I've been noticing your shots from New England.
Can I do something with this? For a second?
Just for a second? Sure, we'll move that here.
Yes,
for a second.
move that away.
Well, there you go.
And I'll move this
yep.
away.
Brian, I know I've been an admirer of your work. You first got me with your series of nudes in what I would consider, eat the mic, in various, I guess, places that are in deconstruction. I mean,
We can just say abandoned places.
okay, abandoned places. That's
That would
perfect.
be the
yeah.
short
That
term
would be the short
phrase.
term. Yes,
Yeah.
very good. Well, tell us about your work and tell us about
Yes.
what your
Well,
inspiration.
I brought in something a little bit different
Uh-huh.
here. I recently did a project I'm pretty proud of. What I did is I worked with a treatment center for addiction and recovery.
Very good.
And what we did is we did interviews about people's gratitude as a result of their sobriety.
Absolutely.
And based on those interviews, I took maybe a specific quote that they said that really stuck out to me. And we went out and I created a creative portrait with that individual. So we did a series about 12 of these. This happens to be one of my friends that was in the series, so he didn't mind that I brought this in.
Sure.
And what he had talked about in his recovery was, the spirit of life. He was just grateful to be a part of the spirit of life now. So we went out to this dead forest, which kind of represented his past,
I like it.
and the glowing ball,
Very
which
good.
represents life.
Here in Florida?
Yeah,
This
this is
has
in
been taken
Florida.
in
This is
Florida.
kind of near the edge of the Everglades. And there's no Photoshop here. I actually had to devise a stick that came out of his chest to have the glowing ball
Very
there
cool.
because I try to avoid, doing Photoshop
Sure.
in my photography work.
I understand completely. Yeah.
Of course, I adjust tones and things like that. But so we did this whole series, and the results were so moving and powerful for a lot of people that it's something that I'm looking to continue doing.
Very good.
And it's kind of a new, interesting avenue. It turns out that I'm pretty decent at connecting with people and interviewing them. So I was thinking maybe going into businesses that want to emulate a certain image. They built a new office, and you know, kind of interviewing the CEOs or the people working there to understand where they came from, how they built their business, and maybe do portraits of this nature with. I think this style of portraiture could be, there's a lot of avenues to explore. So I'm really excited about kind of what I've discovered here.
Yeah, I can see that. I had an advertising
That's
agency,
interesting, yes.
and so I was very concerned with brand, identification, brand creation, and I can see very much what you're saying. I think it's an incredible piece. Frankly, I myself have had, I've gone through treatment, so I understand very well. You have a sensation that the world gets very, I liken it to stepping into Oz at one time and everything colorful and wild, and that becomes pale and dark and gray. And the realization inside one's head, I think, is that everything's dark and gray. When you pop that bubble inside that sphere, you find that life is born anew. That's a wonderful analogy. I think it's a great cerebral, very very touching piece.
Well,
I like it.
it's not too dark and gray. But this piece right here, this area, it shows that there is a hope. I feel like this part right here, that there is a hope. And you can make that hope grow into a bigger
It's funny
light,
because
right?
I
That's
feel
what
like
I have that in my mind right now when I look at this man.
I feel like
holding
that
this
message
light.
came through in Bear USA too. The nudes and abandoned
Yep.
places.
Yep.
There was all this chaos. These abandoned places are
Exactly,
just scenes of chaos. And then in the middle, you have this beautiful figure, which kind of represents a little bit of hope in all this chaos and destruction. This small glimmer of beauty.
Right. I like it.
You
You've captured even places that are abandoned and very beautifully. I mean, just the way you've angled it. I mean, you've got great angles, but also the light and dark, the gray tones, just exquisite. I mean, I'm a great admirer.
Black and
appreciate
white
that.
goes with everything. It's very.
It does go with everything.
Yeah,
so,
it's perfect.
if you get a black and white photo for your home, it's going to go with everything.
Yeah,
So is there a couple of more arts of yours here in the gallery?
Not
I
this
can-
style. This was special. I just wanted to bring something in a little bit different to kind of show my diversity as a
Your new-
photographer
your
and
new
kind of this
artwork.
little bit of a direction that I'm going in now. But I do have a lot of stuff here. I got a little room over in the back, a circle
Okay.
area.
Come by on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I'll be sure to show you.
All right.
I'm gonna catch you later. You're gonna show me around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian's work is really quite outstanding. I know you also have a book that's for sale.
I do. Yep.
And I know that Brian is also, you've worked with some pieces that were, I would consider them homeless people that you've captured in some asphalt-like material. I mean, you've done some pieces that were unusual surfaces to apply photography to.
Yeah, so I was trying to experiment with the idea of street art that you could take home. There's lots of street art that you see when you're in cities and stuff, and you're like, that's cool, I'd love to take that home.
Yeah.
But you can't take it home because it's part of the building, it's
Right.
part of the wall. So I wanted to kind of recreate that environment so you could take it home. And then I took it a step further, and I wanted to incorporate the people that are on the people that occupy the streets, the people that are out there when you're on the streets, and I'm just so drawn to these faces that tell such deep emotional stories without saying a single word.
Absolutely.
You need to go to Russia. You'll see a lot of deep faces out there.
I'll bet.
Yeah, well, I would love to have the opportunity to do that.
And you put them up, I'll bet you.
That's where I
do it.
come
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's always like this conflict of
Yes.
exploitation versus creation, and as an artist, I'm still kind of trying to explore where that line is
Sure.
and how to make sure that
Well,
I'm doing it appropriately and
Yeah, tastefully,
respectfully,
certainly.
Yeah.
But I think also you have to push that line a little bit, and I think you do appropriately. I know you do a lot of happening kind of things. I know that you've been known to, be found around some silver pieces sitting out in the middle of places. Brian's a very creative soul, and really the energy he puts forth, and just I think I guess just the exploration of the human mind.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm always just trying to do new fun things and try to engage people and get people involved in art and enjoy themselves.
And you've been in the military?
No, this is actually a breast cancer awareness
okay.
Very cool.
little thing. Yeah, no, I don't dare to. I can't shoot a gun.
Well, Brian, we're delighted to have you down here. I know you've been here quite a while. You need to come in and see his work. It's quite incredible. If you come in on an art walk, you get to meet Brian. That's
Yes.
worth the price of admission.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely. We're so glad you came down there. Anything new you
nice
want
to
to, and I
meet
don't
you.
want to ask your website, anything new you have coming up besides you doing more of this?
Well, yeah, this would be more of a commission type thing. So
Yeah.
if anybody's interested in that type of work, you can always reach me through my website, which is briancattell.com. That's BrianCattelle.com.
Very good. And I can actually see that. I mean, I used to have an advertising agency, like I said, and so some corporations that were trying to establish themselves in a certain light to the public, I can see how this could just be phenomenal. I mean, I
Yeah.
really do. I think you could do some
I like this. Yeah.
some wonderful stuff for them, really do.
Yeah.
Glad to see you down here, Brian.
All right, thanks for
Pleasure,
having
man.
me. As
Absolutely.
always,
Yep.
very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Who
you.
do we have coming
I'm
up
gonna
next,
get
Miss
you
Jean?
later.
Yeah, I'll take you around when we leave.
Give me my flowers.
There you go.
Give me my flowers.
Who do we have? Rebecca?
Ah, smells good.
I think Rebecca and I met earlier.
Rebecca, here you go.
How
Rebecca
are you?
Lovelace,
I don't know which piece.
Katrina Chivitar. And that,
Yeah,
Okay,
this is a piece that I did for Delray Affair. So that's
Very
kind
cool.
of what I've been known for.
Yeah.
Are these like real kitschy pieces? But the series, the Waterfall series, that's one of the minis. Is something that's like my new passion. That's actually what brought me to the gallery.
Gotcha.
So
I would think you have the distinction of truly being the newest artist here.
yes,
You came on board, I think, today.
today.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
we were
sparkle.
so glad. Yeah. And you're an artist of all forms. I know that
Yeah.
you talked about being I won't bite you. I know that you do tattoos.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I believe the oldest tattoo shop in Delray.
Yes, we are the original.
Yep, very good. Tell us about yourself and tell us about your work.
Sure. So my name is Rebecca Lovelace. I own Tradition Tattoo. It was the first tattoo shop to open in the city's history, and we've been in Delray for a little bit more than 2 years.
Very good.
I also do improv comedy, so I'm a comedian. My group's called Free Tacos, and we're based out of Improv U. Yeah, and I paint.
Do we actually get free tacos? I'm getting hungry right
It's a
now.
little bit of a.
You are hungry, aren't you?
I'm always hungry.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's pregnant.
Yes.
That makes you always hungry.
Yeah. So I have a full life, you know. But
What is your latest tattoo on your body?
I have a big flower on my leg. I could show you. You can see.
I see that. You're not allowed to see that.
That's right. You can't-
It's private.
You say we have to kill you. I know that earlier when we were talking, you had said you had some works with you, and I stepped out. Being from Tennessee, I paint a lot of the beach and stuff like that, but you had some waterfalls. Where'd the one go?
Here you go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
I didn't
taking
see-
that
yeah.
home.
It was an absolutely stunning piece. Having worked with water myself, tell us, what's your inspiration here, first off?
I mean, whenever I visualize water, I think of serenity, I think of refreshing, I think of even sort of a baptismal moment
Sure,
where you
I
can
got you.
literally breathe it all in a lot of forms. And a waterfall really creates that
It does.
essence, you know, of vapor, of action,
Yeah,
of
the mist in
movement,
the air.
power,
Water, life.
you know, yeah, life, and also darkness. You know, I think that also really drew me into it.
interesting.
So, you know, just a form of escape.
Yeah. Well, I had not seen your more.
Am I more kitschy?
You're more
it's
cute.
so happy though.
Yeah, it is a very happy piece. Actually, I think that would be a great piece for Jimmy Buffett to.
The birdie.
Oh my God, Jimmy Buffett, if you're listening,
Yeah.
this
We got.
piece is
Now, I have some pieces down here, by the way, like named "King of Somewhere Hot," which is one of your songs, Jimmy.
bag with a
But you can
pineapple.
also get. You can probably get a whole fill your latest room with art from down here that's been
Yeah.
inspired by you.
Yeah.
How very cool. So this was a commissioned piece for Delray.
Yeah, so I was chosen as one of the Delray
Yeah.
Affair artists. I've also done Garlic Fest 2 years in a row. But the bird is one of my favorites,
Oh, it's
and
really cute.
you know he still needs a home. So you know I always say,
don't tell Rita Bartman is one of the ladies here who has a frame shop, a frame business, and she is always she's a rescuer. She rescues dogs or anything else. Don't tell her
Oh.
that he needs a home.
Rita, we miss you.
Yeah, we do miss
not
you.
here.
I know, but she would take him under the wing and be posting things on
Yes.
Instagram about this poor lost bird needs a home.
but it's all true.
I love your energy, and honestly, when she was walking around, I was showing her the place. I spoke to the fact that this place has got
Yes.
such an ambiance and such a warmth to it. I think you're going to fit in wonderfully here,
you.
obviously. And,
I think so
yeah.
too. I'm really.
I'm excited for you to be here, and you see a good crowd up there.
Yeah, it's a great crowd.
It is a wonderful crowd.
Yeah.
I'm so excited today. I meet so many new artists.
Yeah, there you
new
go.
people. Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, what else you got coming up? Just out of curiosity, and do you have a website?
Yeah, so most of my world is always tattooing. So
Okay.
tradition tattoo, type it in. People know me
Tradition
as
tattoo.
as a tattooer.
Yeah.
The artist thing, I am taking notes. I am taking direction. So I look forward to having a website for my art
There you
and
go.
lots of other things.
Absolutely. So glad to have you
Big
here.
plans.
You're a great addition to the gallery. I guarantee you. really are. No, I can tell already. And so wonderful to have you here. And I think,
course.
again, traditiontattoo.com.
Yes.
And again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for
Rebecca
having me.
Lovelace.
Yeah, I'll see you
All
guys
right.
soon.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Who else we got coming up, my dear? Oh, get over here, Lee.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Oh, trouble. trouble.
Uh-oh.
We've got a great crowd here, I know, and a great portrayal of artwork. Hello there. Oh, wonderful piece. I like that a lot. Lee Berlin, you're not a stranger to this show. You've been on here before.
Yes.
Tell us
Hello,
about
everybody.
yourself. Yeah.
Look at
Lee
that
Berlin?
little girl.
Huh?
Look at that little
Introduce-
girl.
Yeah. Tell us about your work, man.
Well, I try different things. I'm into mixed media. I do a lot of work with acrylic. That's just straight ahead, stuff like that on the wall. But a lot of the stuff I do, I bring into photography, into mixed media. I use a tablet that's hooked up to my computer. So if you want to know about this,
Yeah.
I took this picture, and then obviously it was in color.
Right.
And then I brought it into the computer, and I said, let's try black and white. And then after I did black and white, I said, it's not enough.
Yeah.
So I brought in this I did and this I did in the computer.
Right.
Still not enough.
Sure.
So I added the blue, and then if you saw Schindler's List, there was something, the girl in the red dress. So I was inspired, so I did the girl in the blue dress.
There you
And
go.
you can make her in pink if someone wants her in pink.
I may try different
Yes.
colors, but I don't know.
I think
Look-
it's very, very eye-catching that it does have the what I consider spot color. I mean,
Right.
in the printing industry, this would be a black and white piece of spot color. It's a wonderful palette and really has a nice richness to it.
Yes.
I think it's very
So-
inviting.
So this little girl is, you know her?
No, I do not know
He
her.
doesn't know her, no.
No,
I assume you got
I
a
have to
model.
be honest.
I assume you got a model release.
With me,
though.
you have
Okay.
to be honest.
Yes.
But wonderful work. Lee has some gorgeous pieces that are, abstracted beach scenes. I know one's got a lighthouse in it, but he also does. You do a lot of pieces that are, I would consider,
He's got a lot of nude.
somewhat vaudevillian in aspects. Is that-
Vaudevillian?
Yeah. Would you not? You understand where I'm coming from there? Well,
No.
you got like a storefront that has nudes in the window. I mean, I guess it's a little
Yes.
red light
I like the
district.
whole
yes.
mix of it
But I
you
mean,
got there.
it's really a very eclectic piece. I mean, I think your pieces have a mix of early century with some new age kind of touches to it. I mean, they're very.
Yes, I'm like the musician that it's not jazz, it's not rock, it's not country. I like trying different things,
I understand.
and the reason for the nudes
Yeah.
is why not,
Well, I mean,
right?
Yeah.
As you once told me, right? If you can bring a little nudity into your life is fuller.
I can't imagine. There you
Well,
go.
is that, I saw your latest work, which is landscape.
Which one?
With landscape.
Yes.
Landscape and a little lighthouse in the back.
Yeah,
was
I
nice
love
one.
that. I love
Very bright
creating
contrasting colors.
places
Love it.
that I would like to visit that don't exist,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think we
It's
both
all in
said
your
also our
mind.
lives were so regimented in black and white that we needed to add color to our lives. I think you said that before
Well,
yourself.
Marion, to give you credit, when I first came here a couple of months ago and I saw some of the stuff you did, it inspired me to reach beyond the normal look at a
Beyond
landscape.
your work.
Right.
No, I appreciate that very much.
Matter of fact, I owe everything
Oh,
to
baloney.
you.
That's baloney. I know you owe it to a play.
We're both Tennessee
written by-
boys.
Yeah, we are. That's right. Unfortunately, it's not a very good thing for football season for us. But Lee's down here. I think almost every day of the week. almost.
Yes. Which
actually-
says a lot for my regular business.
Well, no, I know you're successful at that too. Lee's down here working. You need to come down and see the plethora of his work. I know you've also done some fiber pieces. I mean, some pieces like you've applied your works to T-shirts and to pillows, things like that
Yes.
as well. So I think Lee is someone who likes to just test the waters of adding art to your life.
He's got some
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think you can't. Everybody's different. Some artists have a style where it's recognizable, and if you look at their work, that's their work. I want to go through all different phases and all different boundaries and try all different things, and who knows? Why not?
Well, you might stumble upon something that really catches your fancy, right?
Sky's the limit.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee, glad to have you down here, and we are next door neighbors, so
Yes.
yep. Come down and you can see me, and
I'm
you can
nearby.
see Katrina right across the hallway, and then Lee right next. So
And Katrina's in my old space.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
No,
There's some
they just don't
nepotism
want to
going
kick
on
me
here.
out of the gallery. That's why I'm there.
I call this art camp.
There you go, art camp. Yeah, it's kind of a.
They love me here.
They do love you here. And we love Lee as well. I'm so glad you came down and.
Thank you, my brother.
Hope you're having great
Nice to
success
see
here. I know your works appeal to a wide range of viewers. I make sure when I'm showing Lee's down here, it's great to meet an artist actually doing his work, and it's nice to see him in process. Lift up first. There you go. You got the lift.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Take care, Lee. Who else we got? That's it. Well, folks, we are down here at the heart of. Oh, she got the piece. I'm going to submit to. Well,
For you or for me?
Yeah.
Let's do
Rebecca, you want
that.
it?
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna do like this.
Yeah.
But,
All right. Huh?
okay, you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
guess which hand.
Well, I think
So
it's
if
going
you
to go.
guess, if you know, if it's you
left-
can
the
guess,
left
it's
hand.
gonna be in my hand.
The left
It's
hand.
gonna be mine.
Oh,
Okay,
it's good.
what hand?
Yeah, that one.
Ah, you hear the noise.
I can hear it exactly.
The
I'm
bag.
not deaf. I'm just speech impaired. Again, we're down here at the Heart of Delray Gallery at 1440 North Federal in Delray Beach. This is Art Walk. It's a first Friday event every month. It's an incredible place, truly. If you have not been down here, you need to be. It's a space like none other. I've been in galleries all over the world, and truly, this has got a kind of a bohemian love fest kind of feel to it. I mean, it's odd,
yeah.
but that really speaks very much to the persona it has. It's a vivacious place. One of the things, we are here at the Brooklyn Cafe studio, which is in the gallery. You know, the Brooklyn Cafe has a great essence to this. It's a feel-good program that you need to catch simulcast on Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook, or also on AMP TV.
Oh, yeah.
They have shows that it's not like Seinfeld, and that it's not about anything; it's about everything. But barring politics and controversial
We're
stuff,
gonna
it's a
make
feel-good-
our own
It's a
Seinfeld.
feel-good radio program, and you need to catch Dawn and Freddie on that as well. You know, that kind of creativity in this place.
Yes.
It says everything about the heart of this, and it's the heart of Delray Gallery. So
It's the place to be.
it is the place
Yes.
to be.
Not just once a month, but every week.
I think
At
so,
least
too.
once a week.
Like
Come
you
out.
said, it changes so often.
Yes.
You're not
Come
gonna-
out of your house
You're not gonna
and
get
come
bored.
over here, meet artists, look at the art, purchase something you can afford.
11,000 square feet of space. You can easily spend 2 hours here and see only half of it. You really can.
Definitely.
So glad you joined us. And are we wrapping?
Who's
It's not
next?
too late to come down. You still got another hour left at the Heart of Delray
Who's
Art Walk.
next? You want to interview me? Because
Huh?
I'm ready.
Well, I have. You don't have any artwork here with you.
I can bring it. You know, I'm right there.
We'll have you next time for sure. How's that? Well, folks, I'm so glad you joined us. Come down and see the Heart of Delray Gallery, 1440 North Federal.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you down here. Have a great day.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.